Linda says the serum wasn't just killing the virus, it was doing it quickly. Doug was there when the lab results came back.
And that was all just glowing and was considered to be, just the capping the thing off that really gave them the proof they needed.
He says Dr. Davis and Linda were overjoyed.
Linda wept. He said, I told you this is exactly how this was going to come out. He wasn't surprised at the least. The viral count had dropped to the point it was undetectable.
I was shocked, I was amazed, I was in awe.
At that point, Doug started visually documenting Dr. Davis's research. They flew to the next door country of Ghana, whose government paid for yet another clinical trial. Doug says 2 men and a husband and wife came into the clinic. 4 people, all desperate, dealing with a virus they knew would kill them.
They were obviously very, very sick. They exhausted all means of any help there, and they knew they basically had a long, slow slide to the end.
In this never-before-seen footage, Dr. Davis introduced himself to the patients and told them what to expect.
Until 2 years has passed, not 2 days. 2 years have passed, with you being off of all medication, can we say this is a cure?
Then Dr. Davis gave the patients 2 injections, 1 in each arm.
It was a big needle and a lot, and it was obviously very painful. In very short order, felt and looked much better. When they came back the next day, they looked better, they walked better, they talked stronger, they were optimistic.
Well, now I feel better than before I came here.
Doug documented injections and reaction over the next several days.
And you slept well?
I slept very well.
And you ate well?
I ate very well.
Exactly what he said would happen happened.
Medicine on top of medicine.
By the time Precious was 6, Rocky knew her little girl could die any day. Rocky was desperate. So when she heard about a doctor in Tulsa who said he had a new treatment he created by injecting a goat, Rocky didn't care if it sounded crazy.
It didn't matter how nuts it was right at that point in time.
In 1998, Rocky made arrangements to get on a train with Precious to travel 1,000 miles to meet this doctor and his so-called goat serum, and she didn't tell a soul.
Nobody wasn't going to talk me out of doing what I did.
When Rocky and Precious got to Tulsa, they met Dr. Gary Davis, a family practitioner who'd injected goats with the AIDS virus and then used the antibodies the goats made to create a serum. Dr. Davis died in 2007, but Rocky says when she met him, she could tell he just wanted to make sick people well.
He was a man of God that wanted to help people. And he said God had given him this vision to go get the antibody from this goat.
Rocky says she asked the doctor dozens of questions, and he even showed her a vial of the serum itself. She says when the doctor wasn't looking, she did something only a desperate mother would do.
But I know I took it.
What do you mean you took it?
I took the serum.
You stole it?
I stole it.
Did you think about asking Dr. Davis?
He couldn't.
You asked him for
I did.
And what did he say?
He couldn't do it because it wasn't FDA approved.
Rocky says with the knowledge she had, she gave Precious the serum, and within hours, Precious was different, full of energy, the kind a 6-year-old should have.
It scared me that she was all over the place, jumping off the couch.
Rocky says over the next few days, she kept giving Precious injections until the serum was gone.
And she was just up, running around, wanting to eat.
Did you know for sure it was the serum?
It had to be the serum because she wasn't on anything. She wasn't taking anything.
Rocky and Precious came home to Washington, D.C., and Rocky says part of her was terrified someone would find out what she had done. But when she looked at how healthy Precious was, she didn't care.
What did I have to lose? Her? Lock me up? Okay, that's a chance I was going to take.
Not long after she got home, Precious went for a checkup. Doctors at the National Institutes of Health were monitoring her. When the lab report came back, Rocky says everyone was stunned about Precious's viral load.
I started shaking, I was sweating. I said, "Come here, Precious." And we was in there jumping and screaming, and I was like, "Your viral load is 0. Baby, your viral load is 0. And she was, oh my God, you talk about a good feeling. And at that point in time, I didn't care. I got on the phone, called Dr. Davis, and it was like a party.
Was he mad at you?
No, not at all.
He understood. He understood you were a desperate mother.
He understood the desperation.
Her lab report showed Precious's viral load was undetectable. There was no sign of the HIV virus in her blood.
Had any other medication done that?
Never.
Had any other medication come close?
Never.
Rocky says she didn't know how to tell the doctors at the NIH what she had done, but soon after they were all there at the Congressional Black Caucus, where an obviously healthier Precious was the keynote speaker.
I know many of you are looking at me and saying, what could a little girl like me have to say? My name is Precious Thomas.
Rocky decided that would be the time Precious would tell the world about the serum. Rocky says she was literally sick with worry.
I was nervous. I was sick. I was sick.
Who would have thought something this special could be found in a goat?
That's when the story came out.
Then what happened?
Nothing.
Rocky says she tried to talk to health officials at the NIH about the serum. She was hoping she could help Dr. Davis get his serum approved by the Food and Drug Administration.
And what did they say?
They weren't a part of it. It was like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Somebody could have with us. It could have been approved, and it could have helped people.
At the same time Rocky gave the serum to Precious, Dr. Davis was working with the FDA to get a clinical trial, but that clinical trial never happened.
Is Dr. Davis' serum the only medication you've ever taken out of all these medications that actually made your viral load go down that significantly and down to 0?
Yes.
It worked.
Now Rocky's afraid that when Dr. Davis died, the cure for AIDS may have died with him.
All he wanted to do was help. So it's like we never knew.
I asked representatives at the NIH if they would consider looking into the serum today, but they didn't seem interested. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the AIDS division of the NIH, did give us this statement. Quote, not only is there not any basis for it to work, but there is evidence to the contrary that it won't work, because this type of approach has been tried before in an even more sophisticated way.
I wish they'd just give us an opportunity. Just give us a chance.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. You all come to us young people for hope. People are suffering. People are dying. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And how dare you continue to look away? How dare you? Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil.